Hello, Cancer. Thank you for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm going to use the Modern Spellcasters Tarot by Melanie Marquis, illustrated by Scott Murphy. For the supportive oracle cards, the Angel Answers Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue and Red the Valentine. Alright, first half is going to be relationships. Second half is going to be singles. Oracle cards pop in as needed. Okay, let's do this. There's a, okay, let's see. Nothing, well. Alright, let's see. What's going on here? You have one card upside down, in which I read them. If they come upside down, if they insist, then they insist. If we read them that way, I usually read them face up because it's easier for people to follow in a general sense. But, you're holding back here. You want to do, okay. Alright, let's start here. Now this is flanking your partner's energy, but you want to get moving on something and you're not. And I feel like this is where we're starting with you. And it seems to be, at first you don't seem to move forward on something, and then it becomes like a rut that you're stuck in with the Hanged Man. But what is happening is the question. Because on your partner's side, they have the Ace of Pentacles. They're starting something. There's a whole new... I'm getting the word option. Why am I saying that? There's a whole new option coming into play. And they've chosen an option that doesn't seem to be suiting you. Now, they also have on this, the Oracle card, look for a sign. Now, I'm looking at this in the sense of like, you're looking at them, watching what this option they chose. It doesn't seem to suit you that well, but they're saying if you look a little deeper, this has something to do with you. Like there's something, like you're trying to connect in here, like why are they doing this? Okay. I'm feeling on your side you're disconnected from this. And you don't want this. They've chosen an option you don't really care for. That's why you have this Knight of Wands upside down. You don't want to be a part of this. But I also feel like I don't know if you even can be. Because the Knight of Wands is like, this is the Knight, to me the Knight, like they like to move. They don't really like sitting around. When they're negated, I feel like they're sometimes benched. It's like a player, like a basketball player stuck on the bench the whole game. It's not where they want to be. Like, why bother showing up to the game if you're not going to play in it? Like, that's the type of attitude I'm feeling here. But that seems to be like you're getting into a rut because I feel like you're not happy about this. This is starting to smolder a little bit. It's kind of like it's like I got my uniform on. I'm sitting on this stupid bench. And I feel like it's getting to you. It's like smoldering a bit like that. Now, your partner, they seem to be going forward and they're taking off and they're really enjoying this situation. This causes more problems. The Three of Wands here, this is like taking flight, getting things going. That's like movement, in my opinion. That's like you're stuck on the bench, they're playing the game. That's the difference here. And I feel like they're really into it and they're not really connecting with how this is affecting you. Because I feel like there's something here where you're feeling a little slighted, like this is time taken away from you, or this could have been done differently where you could have been included. Something along those lines, you're not happy. And they seem to be really enjoying it. That's not sitting well. But there's a smoldering feeling here. I'm not feeling there's arguments. I just feel like you're kind of like a little bit smoldering over it. Like you're really not happy about sitting on the bench here. Which I understand that. It makes sense. But they're telling me there's a reason. This is popping in again. The look Look for a sign. Like something about this is good for you. Something about this, if you look a little deeper, like something is here for you. I feel like something is here for you, but what is the question? Because they keep coming back. Like they're saying, look for a sign, and I'm like, I'm looking for the sign. And that might be, I feel like that might be how you're looking at this. Like, what sign? What are you talking about? Like, I'm on the bench. Like, all I do is look. Like, there's nothing else for me to do. Um, what else is here? Something else is here. Let's keep going and see if it pops in as we go. Um, See, because you're in that spot. You're trying to. Well, first, spiritually, you're in the Four of Swords. You're stuck. It's just kind of being boxed in. And I feel like you'd rather be spending your time doing something else, but for some reason, you seem to be kind of like benched. It's kind of like you're showing up to this game, but there's nothing you can do. You're sitting on the bench for the whole game, and you're just kind of forced to sit there and watch everybody else play. And I just feel like that attitude of like, if I'm not going to play, why do I even have to be here? I get that kind of feeling. And the hermit is trying to look for an answer. Like, why is this happening this way? What do I need to do? Like, is this worth my time? Am I sitting on this bench because, in future games, this is going to offer me the opportunity to play? It's like, is there a reason for this? Am I going to get something out of this for like spending this time on the bench, pretty much? So you're looking for this answer. You're trying to make this make sense. I'm still getting this smoldering feeling like you're not happy about sitting on the bench. The Three of Pentacles here. I feel like you're paying attention more at this point. Alright, so I wasn't getting it until I actually picked up this card, but I'm getting like how they're popping in the look for a sign. Because I've heard this before, and I don't know why it just now popped into my head, but for whatever reason. Like watching and learning and seeing how other people are playing, even if you already know the maneuvers, how people, like, I feel like this is like one of those things where, if I can relate this correctly, like you're watching a game be played, and you're watching like your team play this other team that's maybe a very tough rival of your team. One of the reasons I've heard or I've seen pushed towards me is kind of like watch how they're playing. Watch the players that are playing and get down like their habits, how they're doing things. Learn from that what you can do, but also prepare yourself for the time you have to go up against that player or against this team. Is this the way that player plays, or is this the way this whole team plays? How can you set yourself up for success for when your turn comes around? You can be ready to counteract or be more intuitive to know what they're going to do, so you have a way around that so you can score your points. I'm getting that's what's going on here. Not that that's the reason your partner's doing it the way they're doing it. I have no idea, but that's not what I'm catching into. I'm getting in like the look for a sign is like watching how this is going down. You can learn a lot about different maneuvers and habits of a certain situation. There's something here that you can really pull from this by watching the habits of the other people. I'm getting that a lot. Like, watch the habits of other people. This is one of those times where I feel like being a people watcher, if you can get into that, you can learn a lot about a situation by actually sitting on the sidelines and seeing how people are interacting with each other to find out how they really feel about each other and like how a team moves as a whole as opposed to individually. There's a lot of information that can be garnered from this is what I'm getting. Because I'm getting you in the learning stage, like watching, seeing how things are playing out. How does this team work? How do these people work? How do they work together? How do they work separately? I'm getting like you're getting a lot of insight. And when it finally clicks in, which it took me until that point, because I did not see it till that point, like you seem to get this insight because your time is coming. Whatever is going on here, you're going to have your time. I get that. Like that's another thing about this benched player. The benched player is not meant to stay on the bench for season after season. They're benched for a game or two, but they should get their chance every now and then. And when they get their chance to prove themselves, they have to pull together as much as they got so they can really show how impactful and important to the team they are. This is a very, very basketball analogy. I can't really say I follow basketball all that much, but that seems to be what's coming through. Now, I'm getting this again. You're getting this three. You're getting this three of pentacles going with your partner's four of wands. You're very perceptive when you want to be, and I feel like, or you're doing. I'm getting this watching people. That whole analogy, instead of dragging you through it again. You're seeing this, but yes, your time is coming, but you're also feeding it over to your partner. You're feeding this over to your partner. You're saying, watch for this, watch for that. This is happening there. I noticed this and that. You're like this is becoming like your partner is essentially your teammate, and you're setting your partner up for success. You're like watching. You're really providing value. You've learned, and now you're teaching what you've learned. And this is really the four of wands here for your partner. This is really making things easier for them. They're getting farther ahead. This is good. I know I'm using a basketball analogy, but I hope this makes sense. It should be hitting with the people that it's meant for. So I'm just gonna keep going. That's what I'm gonna do. Because you are really helping them. Really, really, really helping them. This whole thing on their side, they have the Ace of Wands. I feel like this is the whole thing. From the moment it starts until wherever we're going with it, they have that Ace of Wands energy. They're very excited. They're very active with this. They're moving forward. This is their spiritual position. They're very motivated and inspired to keep going. I feel like this is the whole blah 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 with this whole thing. Your spiritual one seems to be kind of evolving and moving as it goes. You start in a spot of feeling kind of boxed in, but you seem to be evolving with it and making it something. Ace of Wands is just a great card. I mean, it's just explaining where they are as I'm doing this for fun. Okay, now, this situation, I feel like it goes on for a while, especially with the cards I'm seeing next to this. But the Page of Wands, I feel like this is towards you. And this card, the way that they depict the Page of Wands on this card, it's very much an active listening. It's like listening intently and taking action on what you're hearing. That's what I get. It's very much active listening. I don't know how else to put it. Very perceptive, but taking action on what you're gaining, and it's towards you. Like you're feeding them information, and they're moving forward based on like you're like almost like the coach to them in this situation. More basketball. Hey, there we go. This is good for you and them. This is good for your relationship because I feel like in the beginning you're not really happy about this whole situation in the beginning, but it improves the situation. It improves any type of miscommunication between you and your partner. It grows a stronger bond between you and your partner. Not that it wouldn't be strong anyway, but it just makes it that much stronger. If you had a steel cable, now you have 4 steel cables. You know what I'm saying? Just stronger bond. Now, the next few months, I feel like this is going to go on for a while. I don't feel like that's all that cryptic. There we go. Encryptive. Whatever. Good? Good. Now, we've gone through all the past. Here's where it's going. There's a pile of cards over here. Your partner, this is what makes things better. They're loving life. They're loving the situation. They're loving your involvement, how you're helping them. So this is good for them. They're enjoying you as a part of this, as however you are. This seems to be good. I feel like they're taking off on their own based on what I'm seeing on here, but let's find out for sure. Because I see the Tower and the Death card on your side. I kind of feel like you're doing your own thing at this point. I do feel like either you're getting involved on your own in this same situation or you're going a different direction. I just feel like whatever you've been doing in this situation, it's changing. It's definitely changing. The Tower, an unexpected opportunity is ending how you're not benched anymore. If you're being a part of this game or not, that depends on what's coming towards you, but you're definitely not benched anymore. It's unexpected and you're done with it. Not in a bad way, it's just an unexpected opportunity came your way. Something better. There's something better than what you've been doing. You've been helping and that's great, but that time is over. The Tower hits, the Death card is saying you're done. Something better is saying you're going for it because this is a better option for you. Between you and your partner, this is how it popped out, but there's 3 cards here. The 8 of Pentacles, that's telling me that, Pentacles are stability in my mind anyway, very earth. 8 is almost to 9, but I feel like this is like you're still building closer to your partner. Like whatever you're doing that's different, it's still building you closer to your partner, especially when I see Judgment in your favor right below it, and right below that, the Lover's card. Whatever you're doing here that's different, whether it be a part of this game, basketball analogy, or not, if it's a part of this game, like you're playing together, it's like it's really good. If it's not though, it's like you're involved in this situation deep enough that they can talk with you about it, and they keep like I feel like the situation is still going, but it's kind of like you're building more bricks to that strength. Like you're involved with it far enough to where you can conversate with them and know exactly what they're talking about, and you can hash through things or talk about things like. It seems like the bond is not only still there and got stronger, but it seems to continually get stronger because you have enough of a background in it that you can keep up and really understand what they're saying and add your own 2 cents when necessary. So Judgment in your favor, obviously because you're not benched anymore. Then the Lovers, like this relationship seems really, really good. This spot where you're not benched anymore, that brings you into a spot where you feel a lot better and you're not feeling like you're just playing a side player like you're the Robin to your partner's Batman. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but you know what I mean. You're happy that you're finally doing what you want to do, and that makes things better for you guys too. I don't feel like they're telling me not to beat it to death, so I'm just gonna let that stop there because I feel like this ends very well. Good. Sorry, sometimes, especially with the water signs, I'm noticing I just start yammering on. Blah 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 blah. I'm a Pisces. I guess that's why. I don't know. I had a little coffee before I started this. That's probably part of it too. Alright, I'm very animated at the moment. I'm very aware. Let's do Cancer singles. Messages for Cancer singles and positive information that help them understand what's going on, help them move their life in the direction they want to go, help them see things they need to know before they cause problems, or help them maneuver and deal with things that they're going to have to deal with. Whatever it may be, as long as it helps them out. Single. Yes. Okay. Can we do these? Yeah, let's do these. Alright, let's see where this goes. I'm not going to prejudge cards. I'm seeing something at the end here, but we'll find out what exactly that means. Alright, so. Alright. The strongest thing I'm seeing here, and I realize these come together, so I'm going to put these together. Your thoughts, what you're thinking. Queen of Cups. That's feeling like you're in love, in my opinion. Are you sharing that? I feel like you're kind of sharing that, but you're trying to keep it under control. I feel like you're talking about it with the person you have feelings for, but I'm noticing, yes, her hand is over that cup, but I feel like that you're trying to keep your emotions, you're trying to keep your involvement to a minimum. You're trying to hold it together because it is a single Cancer thing going on here, this part of the reading. So I feel like you're keeping your involvement as muted as you can, but still feeling fulfilled. They know how you feel is what I'm getting, but your involvement, you're trying not to go overboard. And the few months card next to it is like you plan to keep it like this for a while. I feel like you're just trying to play it safe, or what you might consider safe. Good. Now, while that's going on there, the person you're looking at, they have the 10 of Pentacles here. This makes me feel like this is a friendship that's going a little more than a friendship, and you're evaluating whether it can be a relationship, like a romantic one. That's what I'm getting here. So for those that this is hitting for, I feel like that's what we're kind of going for. That seems very cut. So far we got cut and dry, but there's a lot of cards out here, in my opinion. So let's see where we end up. Now, there, at the bottom, these come in like the no need to worry is self-explanatory, but the Eight of Swords. Yep, Eight of Swords. Excuse me. It's feeling like I feel like there's some worry here. Like, am I ruining a friendship? If I am I ruining it for nothing? I feel like there's a worry that you might be ruining a friendship. That's the thing. I feel like you're looking at it like, now that we've gone this far, can it really go back to a friendship if I decide I don't want to do this, or one of us decides we don't want to do this? Like, I feel like there's some worry about, should I just jump in and do this? Because at this point, but I feel like there's other factors here. There's like they're like friends in common or something like that. They're like, it's kind of, you've already gotten involved in this, and you're kind of like, was this a good idea? Like, what type of discord could I be causing here by actually just giving this a shot? But they're saying the no need to worry here is like, I don't feel like there's going to be any offshoot problems from this, but I feel like there's some worry at the bottom, and I feel like that's mutual. Like, now that you're pushing this forward into this arena, giving this a shot, if this doesn't work out, how does it affect other people around you? I feel like that's what we're saying with this Eight of Swords. Now, the next thing, I'm just going with where the energy's going, which is the top part, which is kind of like the weather of the situation. The bottom is like the ground you're standing on. It's pretty stable. That's what you're working with. This is kind of the weather that, in some places can change every 2 hours, every few days, whatever. But you're balancing it out. Two of Pentacles. I feel like you're both doing this. I feel like you're on the same page. The two of you seem to be on the same page. I'm seeing like somebody else involved in this. I know this is single Cancer, but I feel like there's somebody else already involved if this is hitting for you. It's just that you're not officially in a relationship. You're not really in that stage yet, but there's somebody who has your eye, and you're kind of going that direction. So both of you seem to be doing this juggling thing. Is this a good idea? Is it not? How far do we want to go with this? Do we want this to be public? Do we want to make sure we keep this private? Do we want to be careful not to be sneaky? Because if somebody sees us being sneaky, then we have to answer to that bull crap. Baloney, whatever you want to say. There's an opportunity here, and things are going to get better. That's the angel cards popping in. In other words, this is a good thing. You're going to learn about each other. This seems like it's going a good direction. I'm also getting that, it's going to take some time. But the opportunity is here. Really get to know each other, really get close to find out, is this a good thing or is this not? At the very least, I feel like it's going to remove regret from the past. Because I know that I've had people I've read for, they've let things pass by and they wonder, is that a regret? Should they have not let something pass by? This is telling me it's removing regret. And the improving health is like, I feel like it's not going to be an issue. I don't feel like there's going to be an issue here at all, in a social sense. Now, is that, there we go. All right, we're going to keep going with that. Opportunities here, things are going to get better, things are going to keep getting better. Now, this is where we stop. The past. I feel like this has almost happened before. Almost. Like somebody, this person, is it this person? Depends on who's catching on. For some of you, it's this person. For some others, it's similar to this, where you kind of like something had a potential to start. You were a little nervous about it due to the friend connection. You weren't sure where it was going to go, so you kind of walked away from it. Is what I'm getting. Whether it be this person or somebody else, it's the whole motif, the whole situation that played out before, and it's like looking at it again and like, you know what, I really think I should have given that a shot. If it's the same person, you're like, well, this time I am going to give it a shot. If it's somebody else, you're like, you know what, I let that last one pass by, I have no idea what that would have been. This time I want to find out what the potential really is. Because not for nothing, if you can turn a friendship into a romance, it's always good to have a friend and the lover in one. Because that doesn't always happen, I know that. Doesn't always happen. I feel like this is redundant, but the center here, the Two of Wands with the Nine of Pentacles, maybe it's not redundant, depending on how you're looking at it. But you're kind of stuck between the two. What do you want to do? That's the Two of Wands, in my opinion. Kind of tied between where things are, where they could be, blah, 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 blah. The left and right of the whole situation. The Nine of Pentacles, I feel like, due to the situation and having to play it kind of calm or quiet, kind of not talk about it with certain people who you may talk about, who you would be, like there's certain people I feel like you might talk about dating, like who you were dating and what you think about this person or that person. I feel like you're kind of holding back from that due to the situation. That's the Nine of Pentacles. I don't feel like you like that. Like it seems like it's the better choice, because the Nine of Pentacles, very stable, very strong, a good place to stand. Like if you look at that card, it's a beautiful spot where she's in, but she's not really happy about it. Like it's a very stable and smart way you're handling it. It just may not be the most enjoyable way to handle it. Good? Good. All right, now. Now what's going on? Because I'm not sure exactly what's happening at the end here, but I feel like we're going to get there soon enough. I'll cheat and I'll let you know there's some rough cards at the end, but why are they rough cards is what I'm wondering. Because when you get to this point, my first thought is cat's out the bag. The King of Swords, like, I feel like you and whoever you're seeing, you're making it known. Somehow it's, well, I don't know if you're making it known, it's cat's out the bag. The King of Swords is telling me it's coming out and it's there. I'm not really sure. I guess it depends on your situation. If somebody's like seeing something or asking the right question and you're owning up to it. Because I feel like at this point, if somebody asks, you don't want to be like, oh, no, there's nothing going on. Because if they find out later, I feel like that's going to be a problem. So if somebody asks you the right question at this point in the future, I feel like you're going to own up and be like, yeah, that's kind of happening. Yeah, we've been seeing each other for a while. So however it's happening for you, the King of Swords is saying cat's out the bag. And the yes with an exclamation, like it's coming out either way. Either you're going to say something or somebody's going to find out and like basically throw you out there, what do you say? Cat's out the bag. Best I can say. It's going to come out that you're seeing this person. The two of you are seeing each other. All right, so that happens. I think we already touched on this. That's the past anyway, so I don't know if I touched on this at the beginning with the Hermit, because you were thinking this through. This is saying all this time, even up to that point where it finally comes out, you've been thinking through what to do. And I feel like for whatever reason it comes out, you're kind of moving on from that energy. But this is more of like where you've been. You've been definitely putting a lot of thought. This is very careful action on your part. The other person seems very stable too, but I'm just feeling on your part, who I'm reading for, the way this is coming, I'm getting this, there's been a lot of thought through this. Now this end part. Because the cat's out the bag, what do we get from that? That's my question. Because you have 4 cards. I'm going to try to show you them the best I can. You got the Wheel, the Hanged Man. Oh, that's the Hierophant. It's a lot better than I thought it was. I swear to God, I thought that was the Devil card. And that's better than I thought. This is the 3 of Pentacles, kind of going over the Hierophant and the Hanged Man. So I feel like this causes a little bit of a ripple in the social structure. That's the Wheel. But I don't feel like there's much... I don't feel like anybody's really saying anything at the beginning. I'm feeling so much better that this is the Hierophant. I swear to God, it was below this, like this, and I just saw that one little devil guy there, and I thought, I don't feel like there's a lot of... Like, I don't see, like, anybody going for or against it. I don't see, like, either way. But I feel like behind the scenes, people are wondering, like, are you going to end up permanently together? And I'm getting like there's a lot with the Three of Pentacles. I feel like your relationship is under the microscope because people aren't sure how to relate to it for some reason. I feel like this is kind of like making people question, like they're trying to understand like what exactly is happening for some reason. Because I get like a little bit like the Three of Pentacles with the Hanged Man holding back with the Hierophant, like I feel like they're trying to like understand like if this is just more of a fun thing or if you guys are gonna like go through the long haul. I feel like people are looking at it, they're trying to understand. Like the Three of Pentacles on top, they're like really paying attention and trying to learn what your relationship is built on. I don't know why there's a question there, but it seems to be like they're trying to understand like if you ended up together because of passion or if you're together because there's something really deep there that you've been ignoring for a while. I just feel like people are holding back and they're trying to understand how the two of you match up. Almost like they're wondering if somebody's going to end up hurting somebody else's feelings and if they're going to get stuck in the middle of it. I just feel like there's a lot of questioning here. But the Hanged Man is telling me that people are kind of pulling back and they're not really acknowledging or negating it. They're just kind of like, okay, that's what's happening, but they don't seem to want to get involved too much because of, like, the social structure. Like, I feel like this is especially where you both have friends in common already. Like, they're trying to not get too involved because they're kind of, like, I feel like they're not sure what to make of it. Whether it be dating history for one or both of you or something. I don't know. They seem to be holding back. This seems to be a time where you can define your relationship and you can keep it, you know, certain things private between the two of you if you want. I feel like that's kind of how it's going to go. I feel like there's going to be a private element to your relationship. And I'm wondering if this Nine of Pentacles is going to kind of linger on at least for a while longer, where you're not really talking about the person you're seeing now because you have friends in common. And it's just not something you can do in case there's like a bad, like if there's a good moment, that's one thing, but if there's a bad moment, maybe you're feeling that won't hit well. Because I feel like there might be a little bit of just being careful not to put people in the middle. Even though things seem to be going well, I just feel like people are holding back and they're stepping back. Like the people you know in common are stepping back and they're not getting involved. They're not negating, but they're not going forward. I don't know. Is there something else we need to say with that? I feel like it's going to take a little while. After a few months when they realize that this is really where this is, I feel like they have to, there's like a getting used to it moment. Because I was questioning, like, is this a good thing or a bad thing? It seems very neutral to me. They're just trying to like step back and really understand like how deep is this relationship, where the two of you are. I just feel like they're like people are getting used to it. People are getting used to the idea. I feel like people are just kind of like a little shocked. And they're just taking a moment just to really get used to it. And as time goes on, I feel like it's going to kind of take its own rhythm. It's going to be fine. But they're just kind of, I feel like people are just kind of watching. I hate to say it, but I feel like it's under the microscope. I feel like your relationship is under the microscope because people are trying to understand what's really happening between the two of you. If it's passion, if it's like an overwhelming love, like why did you end up together? Like are you just kind of feeling each other is safe? Like why are you together? I feel like they're trying to understand like how that happened. Good? Good. All right. I'm going to wrap that up because that seems to be where this is ending. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you.